Welcome to another edition of Takedown DFS's UFC picks. This week we got Rodriguez versus Waterson. Another fight card that's not with the bigger names and all that stuff, so it's not as good as that big fight card we had a few weeks back in Kamaru Usman and Masvidal. That was one of the better fight cards I've ever seen. But another good fight card. We're gonna find some gems here and make some money. That's what everyone's looking to do. Last week, hopefully you followed my pick because I was very high on Jiri Prozac, who did an amazing job and finished Dominic Reyes in the second round. I also was high on the only girl favorite that I was very high on was Luana Pinheiro, who ended up getting the finish in one of the highest scores on FANDUEL, even though it ended up being to an illegal move, but she was destroying her that whole time. So you saw that coming. But if you followed my picks last week, I think you definitely profited because I was 9-1-1 on my picks. So hopefully you guys follow along again today. Hopefully we can pick out some more winners and we can take down. But I do daily picks for MLB right now, and I will be doing NBA in the playoffs. But you can catch it all my socials, Takedown DFS on Instagram and TikTok, and then on Twitter it's TDown DFS. But make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into these picks. So let's go to the prelims, and let's start with the first fight. All right, our first fight, we got a Christian Aguilera versus Carlston Harris. Carlston Harris is coming out of Guyana. And let me just move this back real quick. Let me X out of that. Okay. Carlston Harris is coming out of Guyana, and he's a new UFC fighter. And he's actually 33 years old. So it's kind of weird when you see a guy that old coming into the UFC for his first fight. You don't expect him to be very good, but actually this guy is actually very, very good. So I wish he was a little bit younger so he could make more of a run, because I think this guy is going to be very good in this division. And Christian Aguilera is a good fighter as well, but I think that this is definitely a clash of styles we have here. And it's a hard stylistic fight for Aguilera because Carlston Harris is going to be able to, I think, grapple with him and take him down here and there throughout the fight. So Christian Aguilera is a guy that moves forward. He's aggressive. He swings for the fences. So any of these shots could land, and I think that's why it's closer of a fight, because it's a new guy that no one really knows about, and they want to keep the public money on split. So Carlston Harris, though, I think he's going to go for a takedown clinic here, and I don't think Christian Aguilera is going to be able to stop it. This guy is very good and very powerful, and I think he's going to be able to just keep, while Christian Aguilera is moving forward, he's going to be able to search for those takedowns, stick and move, and keep going and grapple up against the fence until he takes him down, and I think he could even possibly get a submission in this. It's minus 170 to not go the distance, so I think that with Carlston Harris being the favorite, minus 170 not to go to the distance, I think it's going to be a takedown clinic until later in the fight he ends up submitting Christian Aguilera. So I'm going to lean Carlston Harris at $18 on FanDuel. But that's the thing is, Christian Aguilera has the means to where if he gets one of those shots in, he could stun him. This guy could be nervous for his UFC debut. But I'm going to go Carlston Harris here at the $18 price tag, and I think he's pretty good for the money. Next, we have Jung Young Park versus Stefan Nchukwi, yeah. These two guys are both strikers with very good defense. And Park will keep moving forward on Nchukwi, but Nchukwi has good cardio and will have power till the end of the fight. This guy does not lose his power, and he usually stays strong throughout his fights. That's why he's 5-0-0. And the line has it at Stefan Nchukwi minus 140 to Jung Hugh Parks plus 115. So they're leaning Stefan Nchukwi, and the price tags indicate that way as well, as $17 to $14. So not really much of a difference in this fight. To go the distance, they have it as yes minus 110, and then to end of the finish minus 120. So it's very even. And this is why I think Park will shoot for takedowns. So if he can get him on the ground, get on top of him, he can control for a while. And I think Park could eke out a decision at that point. But if this stays upright and they're both going back and forth, Nchukwi is going to have the power to where I think there's a chance that he knocks him out. But the same thing is if he takes him down early in the first round, holds him down, could lose his cardio there, and we could actually see a way where he loses cardio, and then the Iron Turtle, Jung Park, finds a way to eke out a finish in the late rounds or ends up winning a decision. But that's why the line is so close. But I think you gotta lean to Nchukwi here because Park needs takedowns and control, because if he doesn't and wants to stand and bang, Nchukwi will put him down. And if they stand and bang this whole time, he's going to put him down and knock him down, and think he may be able to survive. That's why they have to go distance. But they're both good strikers, but I think I lean to Nchukwi with the striking there, and Park's going to need to get some takedowns and to have a lot of control to be able to win this fight. So I'm going to lean to Nchukwi, but if you find yourself landing in that range where you need the $3 in savings, I see a way that Park wins this. That's why it's such a close line. So could in one thing, but if I'm making one line, I'm leaning to Nchukwi at the $17 price tag. Next we have Ryan Babyface Benoit versus Zaruk the Lion Adashev. This fight they have Ryan Benoit at minus 145 versus Zaruk Adashev at plus 120. The price tag indicates that at $18 to $13. And they have it to go the distance minus 175. So Adashev is a great kickboxer. He was a great when he did kickboxing back in the day. But he hasn't found his way here in the UFC. It's almost like he just tries to kickbox and he doesn't know how to actually fight like an MMA fighter. And that's what I've been seeing out of him. But he just can't avoid hits. Like, he just stands there and gets hit. He just keeps getting hit. Like, I don't know how he doesn't move out of the way. Like, I guess in a kickboxing fight, you're more susceptible. You're fine. You take the hit because they're bigger gloves and everything. But in this, he just doesn't avoid the hits, and it's just so frustrating. But when Adashev is moving forward, he's very lethal. Same thing with Ryan Benoit. But when Adashev is not moving forward, he's pretty bad. He's pretty bad. I'm just gonna put it lightly. Benoit has the power to put him down on the feet. So that's the thing, is where if he's gonna try and stand there and do his kickboxing thing, Benoit's gonna be able to exert his power and maybe even like put him down. Even though they go to the distance, they have a very high favorite in going the distance. But Adashev should be Adashev. That's the thing though, is how I just said that if they stand and bang, I don't think Adashev is going to be able to stylistically match up with Benoit, but he should be afraid of the takedown because he's very bad on the ground, and he's not good at getting back up. So he's going to be trying to avoid the takedown, and he can't stand and bang on the feet. That's why I don't get the line right now and why it's only minus 145. So I lean Benoit, and I think he should be able to tune him up on the feet and look for the takedowns and maybe secure a takedown to just win the round, secure a takedown. So I think it could be 2 rounds to nothing going into the third. That's why he doesn't look for the finish. But the line has moved from Adashev's open at plus 190 to plus 120. So they're looking at something. So I don't know if they think that maybe he's going to land a lucky shot or something like that and be able to avoid these takedowns and maybe worked on his takedown defense. But I don't see it. I think Ryan Babyface Benoit is going to be able to piece him up on the feet. I don't know if it's going to score very well for $18. I think I prefer Carlston Harris there. But I think he should be able to get the win. And I think by decision, but I see a way that he just puts the lights out on Zaruk Adashev. But that's where I'm leaning with this fight. Next we have Michael Trizano, the Lone Wolf, versus Ludovic Klein, Mr. Highlight. Ludovic Klein is one of these type of prospects that is like everyone is hyping up, the UFC is hyping up, and that's why like he's a heavy favorite here, minus 265 to Mike Trizano's plus 210. So we got the highest priced fighter on FanDuel as opposed to the lowest priced fighter. Mike Trizano has a crazy career. He actually won the Ultimate Fighter back in the day, and then he's taken a lot of time off during his UFC career. But Trizano is a good kickboxer, but it doesn't compare to the way that Klein fights. Klein, I feel like, is a better better on the feet. He's also better on the ground, and he's better at all areas. I think he just closed the distance well. The only thing Trizano could do here, I think, is put him down on the mat on his back and control him and grapple and make this a dirty fight. And I think that's what Trizano would need to do to be able to even have a chance to win this fight. But that's the thing, is to go the distance, they have it at even for yes to go the distance and no at minus 130. So they have a thing where they believe that Ludwig Klein could finish this fight. I'm not sold on him finishing the fight because he has never lost by knockout, and I don't see Ludwig Klein submitting him unless he really tires him out and puts Trizano on his back. But I don't think he's going to want to go on the ground too much because that's Trizano's only path to victory, I think, in this fight. But Trizano needs to make this a dirty, clinching, grappling fight. But Klein is very skilled to where he's going to be knowing that and trying to avoid those takedowns and just overall, I think exuding his power in all aspects of this fight. So I think Ludwig Klein wins, but I'm going to have very limited him on FanDuel because I think I'm paying up. I think I like other options. And this might be a card where I think I like the mid-range, where I like a lot of those guys priced $18 to $15. And that could be the way I could go on this fight. So we'll see as this fight card goes on. But $23 is a lot to pay for someone I'm not sure is going to get a knockout. You could dominate him. You could dominate him and just finish him in the first round. It could happen. But Michael Trizano has never been KO'd, and I don't see him going out too easily to where I'm not going to say Trizano is going to win this, but I think Ludwig Klein wins, but not in the fashion you want for fantasy. So I think I'll be staying away from him to a point unless I like a lot of the dogs and I find myself paying up for two or three guys. So that's my analysis on this fight. So I think Ludwig Klein wins by decision or a late finish, but I don't think it's enough for fantasy compared to some of the other fights on the card. So on to the next fight. Next we have one of those pivotal fights on FanDuel where they're both priced or either the same or very similarly to where ownership will be split, to where you'll get these fighters at like 20%, or 20 and 30, 30 and 15, something like that, to where you're knocking out half the field when this goes because they have pretty much similar lineups, but at the same when they're at the same price point, it's one's going to get very high score and one's going to get a very low score. So you're pretty much knocking out a lot of the competition. So you really want to get these fights right, but the reason why they're priced so like this is because they're so close in odds and you don't know what's going to happen. But Kyle Dawkins is the favorite here at minus 125 against Phil Hawes at plus 105. You got $16 versus a $14 fighter. And this is minus 190 to end and finish. So this is one you're going to really want to get right. So Dawkins has great grappling. But that's what he's going to need is all this grappling throughout this fight. But that's what I'm saying throughout this fight, because Hawes has very early power. So in the first round, you're not going to want to get hit with those shots. So he's going to have a good game plan out of the gate to be able to avoid Hawes' shots. But that's the thing is, if Hawes can't get him out of there early, I think Dawkins could smother him, take him down, and finish him from the top and submit him. So that's the thing is where this fight plays out, to where you got to actually think about, like, when they go in, picture in your head as they're coming into the ring. They go there, fight starts. They're going to be on the feet. Can Hawes keep it at a distance and make this a striking fight? Dawkins will strike with him, but is he going to be able to land that shot? And when he can, and if Dawkins gets a shot in on him and is able to grab him and take him down, I think he's taking him down for the rest of that round. Now his power is going to be diminished. Now it goes in the second round, less power, but still there, still has that opportunity. And it's going to be a fight where if later it goes, I think I prefer Dawkins, and I think he can finish later in the fight. But because that's the thing, if Dawkins leaves his head open for big shots, so you're going to try and want to avoid those big shots, but Dawkins is a guy that will recklessly leave his head open for a shot that Phil Hawes will connect on. So it's all a matter if Phil Hawes can land that shot, to me, to where if he lands that shot that dazes him, he's going to just go in for the kill and put him down. But if he doesn't and he messes that up and Dawkins gets him on his back, I feel like there's nothing that Hall's going to do, and he's just going to control him for the rest of that round or submit him. And I think eventually, if it gets to the third round, he's already tired, power's diminished, he's going to get submitted. So I think whoever wins this is going to be very pivotal. So I'm going to lean Phil Hawes as the underdog. I like him, the savings. It might help me get up to someone else. But I'm going to lean Phil Hawes in this. But I will definitely, if I'm making multiple lineups, make 10 lineups, I think I'll go 6-4, 7-3, something like that. But I think Phil Hawes can land that shot because Dawkins does leave his head open and susceptible to that. So I'm going to go with Phil Hawes here. But it's going to get scary as the fight goes on because you'd better hope that Phil Hawes wins that those 2 rounds and just coasts the last third round because he's not going to be able to do much in the third round, I believe, with to Dawkins. So it could be a scary fight to watch, but definitely one that's pivotal for your FanDuel lineups. Should have close to 100 exposure to this fight. Next fight on the card, we got the heavyweights. We got Ben Rothwell versus Monstro Felipe Lins. And to go the distance is minus 155. And another fight where it's $15 to $14. Philip Lins is minus 105. Brendan Rothwell is minus 115. Rothwell is the $14 fighter here. It's weird when you have heavyweights of this caliber to where they're this heavy of guys and you don't see a heavy finish chance. So it's like usually these guys want to just get in there and get out because of their cardio issues. But I feel like the way these guys fight with a lot of grappling and control and striking and then going to the clinch, like they're both going to be tired by the third round. They both are just going to like to those heavyweight fights, it's like they could either score very well if it ends in a finish, or they could be just so tired that you don't get as much output in the third round. So if it's a 1-1 fight, it's not a guy's not going to score that very high. But at these price tags, you don't really need him to score crazy high. You just need someone to win. So Ben Rothwell hits hard and has a good chin. So it's going to be hard to put him down. So that's why it's they don't see like a decision, a finish. He has Lins hasn't been good in the UFC and doesn't really do much. He's been like mostly shadow boxing and he hasn't really connected too much in his fights to where, not like he hasn't connected, but he hasn't really shown like, I'm going to move forward, boom, 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 hit you, like keep going kind of guy. Like it's almost like he's just sitting there doing his moves, like very trying to be technical, but then the fight's over and you're like, you just wasted all that time. So Rothwell definitely has more volume and he's going to keep moving forward, but like even though Rothwell has a good chin, Lins has the power to hurt him. So can Rothwell avoid that shot and can he keep moving forward with the volume? I think that I lean Rothwell here if it does go the distance because of the volume and that he's going to be a guy moving forward more and everything. Since they do have it favored to go the distance, I'm going to lean Rothwell here by decision. And at $14, if you think you got a winner there, that's very good. So if I can get Phil Hawes and Ben Rothwell winners at $14, that makes my rest of my lineup like a lot better if I can get 2 cheaper winners like that. So I'm going to have a lot of lineups like with those 2 guys. So that's what we have with Ben Rothwell and Felipe Lins. So now we're on to the main card. We have Amanda Ribas versus Angela Hill. Amanda Ribas is a $20 fighter, and Angela Hill is down at $10. Amanda Ribas is minus 185 to Angela Hill's plus 150, and this is minus 185 to go the distance. Amanda Ribas' last fight, she actually lost to the main event on this card, Marina Rodriguez, and got put out by her. And Angela Hill ended up fighting Michelle Waterson. So we got the matchup of the 2 guys that fought the main event. So Ribas is fantastic on the mat, and that's Angela Hill's weakness. And Ribas got the lights put out of her, so I feel like Angela Hill is going to have the advantage on the feet. So if Hill can keep this fight standing, she has the advantage. And Ribas is a great grappler and can submit her on the ground. So this is a stylistically different matchup, and I think Amanda Ribas is very good, and her last couple fights are just fluky whenever she lost, like because she got put out over the, like not lucky hit, but like could happen to anybody. And I think Amanda Ribas is going to be able to take down Angela Hill and start moving back up forward instead of the steps she's taken back in this division. So I think I'm going to lean Angela Hill here, and that's what Vegas has. But Vegas has it going the distance. I think Amanda Ribas is going to be able to submit Angela Hill later in this fight. I think she's going to take her down a few times, and that's going to score well for FanDuel. And I really like that that Amanda Ribas gets all those takedowns and a submission. So you get the points for submission attempt, points for the takedowns. I don't know if she's going to have a lot of strikes. She's going to be throwing. She throws when they're on the feet. But that's the other way is if you think Angela Hill's going to win this, she's going to rack up a lot of takedown defenses because that scores well on FanDuel as well. But I have Amanda Ribas taking her down and even possibly submitting her in the third round. So I'm going to lean Amanda Ribas here to beat Overkill Hill. And I think she's a great pay-up option, and not a lot of people are going to pay up for a girl that they don't think is going to get ended a finish, even though I think she will end up finishing her. So on to the next fight where we have a great fight and one of my favorite fights on the card. We got Diego Ferreira, or I think it's Herrera, versus Gregor Gillespie. Diego Ferreira comes in at plus 155 versus Gregor Gillespie at minus 190. Gregor Gillespie is $21 to Diego Ferreira is $10. And to go the distance, it's minus 160 in yes, and plus 130 for no. Gillespie likes to strike to set up his takedowns. And Gillespie is going to be looking to do a takedown clinic here, which I think he will be able to do. But Ferreira is a high-level jiu-jitsu artist. And Ferreira, if on top, can definitely finish Gillespie. Like, if he gets on top at any point in this fight, I think it's game over. But at the same time, Gillespie should be able to take down and control Ferreira. But that's the way it is. If you're looking at $21 to $10 fighter, if Ferreira is able to stuff these takedowns, he can score well with takedown defenses, and if he's able to even eke out a win, like that'd be crazy for his price tag. But that's the thing is right now is I think Gillespie is going to be able to get the takedowns on him, but Ferreira's not going to be able to take down Gillespie because he's very good takedown defense and very tough. So I think Ferreira's going to try and stand and bang with them and try and guard the takedowns, which I don't think is going to work out too well because Gillespie's very good at that. But since he has very high-level jiu-jitsu, I don't think Ferreira's going to be able to get submitted on the ground. So I think Gillespie's going to eke out a decision, but I think he could get 7 or 8 takedowns here, which would score very, very well for FanDuel scoring. But I don't know if it's that well for $21. So there's another $21 fighter coming up next. I think I might like better. But Gillespie is definitely going to try and put on a takedown clinic here, strike a little bit, which could score him very well. That's why I don't like the other $23 fighters. And who is that? Let's go back. Ludovic Klein. I think I'd rather go Gillespie here. I think he's going to score well. And if he gets all those takedowns and if he's even able to get a finish, I think it's going to be very hard to finish Diego Ferreira. But I like Gregor Gillespie here, and I wouldn't mind paying the $21 for him. So on to the next fight, where I think I prefer, if I had the money and I can only choose one, I think I like this guy. We got Maurice Green, the crochet boss, versus Marcos Rodrigo de Lima. De Lima's $21. That's the guy I like in this fight. And he's minus 200 against Maurice Green, plus 160 and $9. So when these guys go into the ring, you're gonna be like, who the hell did I just bet on? Because Maurice Green is 6'7", and this guy's 6'1" and a little chubby. So you're gonna be looking and you're like, how is he gonna go in on this guy? But his striking is very, very good, and much better than Maurice Green. Maurice Green got his lights put out by, what's his name? Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy put Maurice Green's lights out. So I think then this is where you go. To go the distance is plus 250. To end in a finish, minus 325. De Lima is a very heavy favorite, and also minus 325 to end in a finish. I think De Lima is going to be able to get in, close the distance on the 6'7" fighter, and get his striking in. And I'm hoping for a first round finish because I'm gonna have him a lot in my captain spot because that scores very well on FanDuel. So I'm gonna have him in my captain spot. And Green can and does get dropped. He's been dropped before, and he definitely can get dropped, and he should be able to get inside and knock him out. So I don't think I'm gonna have any Green. There's a chance that Green could put him out and keep the distance and all that stuff and cause a lot of trouble, but I'm gonna lean with De Lima here, and I think I'm gonna be very heavy on De Lima. So we'll see. That's gonna be one of my pay-ups, and that's why I was hesitant on some of the other ones, but I like De Lima in this spot. Next, we have Neal, the Haitian Sensation Magny, versus Jeff Hands of Steel Neal. It's going to be a very good fight here. And Jeff Neal is minus 190 at $20, and Magny is plus 155 at $13. I like, and then also the fight is minus 130 to go the distance, and no to not go the distance is even. But Neal is a very, very dangerous southpaw. And when he wobbles a guy, he stays very technical, and that's why I don't think this is going to end in a finish, because he doesn't really go in for the kill. He still does his fight. So unless he knocks out a guy cold, which it's going to be very hard to knock out Neal Magny cold. He doesn't really go in and try and finish a fight right there, like jump all in and exert too much energy, because he knows that a lot of these guys don't go out. So the striking, his very technical striking will give Magny fits, and Neal has great takedown defense, which Magny is going to probably try and use, because I don't think he'll be able to stand and bang with this guy, so he's going to be trying to take him down. So I think Jeff Neal racks up the takedown defenses and strikes him up, but it depends on how many strikes he's able to land, because it's hard to score very well if you don't get the finish. So I like Jeff Neal here, and I'm going to have some of them in case he gets 133 significant strikes and a couple takedown defenses. He's going to score very, very well. But then on the other hand, if he just moves and punches and there's no takedowns and it's just a striking fight, he could win an easy decision and only score you 70 points as opposed to the 130 on the other end. So I'm going to have some Jeff Neal. I'm going to probably have not much from Magny, because I don't think he's able to take him down, and I like Neal here by decision. Next, we have the co-main event. We got Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus Alex the Great White Morono. Donald Cerrone, everyone knows him. He's the old guy. He's fought everybody, and everyone thinks he's washed up, but he's minus 200 favorite against Alex Morono, plus 160. Donald Cerrone's $22 to Morono's $10, and to go the distance, it's minus 130, even to not go the distance. But Morono's coming in on I think it'd be 5 days notice, maybe 4 days notice, and Cerrone is one of the better MMA wrestlers. He's not a renowned wrestler. He didn't wrestle in college, he didn't win any wrestling championships, but he's a very good MMA wrestler for the UFC type of wrestling. And Morono just got beat by Pettis, who just lost in PFL. So yeah, he just barely got by Pettis when Pettis now just a week or two ago just lost in the PFL. So I don't know how he only just got by, and now he's facing Donald Cerrone, who's very technical and very smart and very experienced. So I think the forward pressure of Morono could be an issue for Cerrone, but at the same time, I don't think he's going to allow him to pressure him. So Cerrone has very high-level striking, and he's a very good wrestler to where he can use that as well. So I think Donald Cerrone is going to find a way to win this fight and find a way to win a decision. And Morono coming in on 4 days' notice doesn't instill much confidence in me going to Morono's side. But at $10, I don't at $22. I don't like Cerrone as much as I like some of the other options. So I'm not going to have a lot of Cerrone, because I don't think he's going to score enough to beat out the other high-priced options. But at the other time, I don't think Morono wins. But on the off chance he does, he's only $10, and I also think he could get some takedown defenses and score a little bit well if this does go to a decision. So on times where I need a low price option, I'm going to lean Morono. But at the same time, like, I think Donald Cerrone wins, and he wins by a decision and just beats this kid up. So if I have to pick who's winning, I'm going to say definitely Cerrone. But if I have to pick who I'm going to have more of on FanDuel, it's going to be Alex Morono, because Cerrone at $22, I don't think he's going to score as well as a De Lima or Gillespie or anyone of that nature. So that's the co-main event. I think we're going to see a Cerrone get back in the win column here. And onto the main event, we have Marina Rodriguez versus the karate hottie Michelle Waterson. The Marina Rodriguez comes in at minus 210 versus Michelle Waterson at plus 170. Rodriguez is $20 on FanDuel as opposed to Waterson at $14 price tag. I feel like a lot of people are going to go with the underdog here, Michelle Waterson, because she does a lot of things right. But I don't think that's very smart. To go the distance, it's yes at minus 205, no plus 165. But Rodriguez has power, and if she cracked you, you can put you down. Just like her last fight when she did that to Ribas. So I have Ribas winning her fight, and Marina put her down. So Waterson needs her takedowns to win, but it's going to be very hard to just take down Marina Rodriguez, who's going to be bigger than her and stronger than her, and just take her down and hold her down. It's not going to work out too well because Marina Rodriguez is very good. And the fact that this is a 5-round fight, I think favors Rodriguez, because they were talking about this being a 3-round fight. I think the fact that it's a 5-round fight makes this definitely tougher for Waterson. So if she stands at strikes, Rodriguez will definitely turn her lights out. So I think I can see this finishing late in the later rounds, when Michelle Waterson is so tired that Marina Rodriguez is just going in there, hitting her one after another, and then to the point where just puts her down. So I'll go in the distance of minus 205. I don't know if I agree with that just much, but I also see a way of Marina Rodriguez stuffing the takedowns and beating her up for 2 or 3 rounds, so that she's up 3 rounds to nothing or 3 rounds to 1 going into the 5th round, or 3 rounds nothing going into the 4th round, to where Michelle Waterson is running around like a chicken with her head cut off, just trying to do anything to win the fight. And Marina Rodriguez doesn't score well because she doesn't need to do much in the later rounds because she knows she has the fight won. So Waterson's a complete fighter, but she's also going to be the smaller fighter and be able to do. You'll be able to try and get the takedowns, and I think she's going to be able to get some takedowns. But at the same time, I think that Marina Rodriguez can do enough to win the decision here. And at $20, I think I'm going to have some for her, but I think I prefer some of the others. But I will definitely have a lot of Marina Rodriguez, and I'll even have some Michelle Waterson, and even some fight stacks here, because it just goes the distance. Takedown, get up, piece her up, takedown defense, takedown defense, a bunch of significant strikes, decision. I could see something where Marina Rodriguez scores 120 and Waterson even gets like 50 to 60. And if you put her in with the other 2 close fights, the 2 close in price tag fights, you get a win with 2 wins, and then Waterson scoring 60, and then you get Marina Rodriguez getting getting 120, and then another high price fighter getting 120. That could be enough to win you or get you some cash on FanDuel. So I like Marina Rodriguez here. I like her to win by either finish or decision. And that's the UFC card for today. So I do the MLB picks as well, and I'm going to definitely make a video for my favorite fighters on Friday night or Saturday morning to finish off the week of who's ending up mostly in the lineups. So make sure to follow me on here, like and subscribe, leave a comment with who your favorite fighter is, who you have different than me, and follow me on Instagram at TakedownDFS, TikTok at TakedownDFS, and Twitter at TDownDFS. They'll all be below. But thank you for watching the video. Hopefully you guys can get some wins like we did last week, and let's take down.